An ego bottleneck you see really common. It goes back to our micromanager. If there are cases where somebody is saying, I have to see it personally every time, I don't want this to go to the client, I don't want this to go to so-and-so without my approval, that's an ego bottleneck. Uh, if you're a good, effective manager, you should be able to communicate what types of reviews need to happen, what the standards are for anything that occurs, and then those pieces should be able to go on. If you're just saying, I want to see it, what you're really saying is, I probably didn't tell you everything I needed to tell you. And so I'm going to figure that out in this chaotic review that I do at the end of the process. So watch out for those, pull them out of your process. If something's flowing through a single person, the only reason that should happen is if it's for a very specific reason because they have a very specific role. So if there's any other reason that's happening, then try to eliminate those. The chaos bottleneck happens when you don't have enough planning. So a lot of businesses are pretty chaotic. We have a general idea of here's what we want, but we don't break it down and we don't actually allocate all of the time that it takes for all of the steps. So for example, if you need a certain type of person to participate in a project and you need their specific skill set, but you haven't figured out, okay, exactly when is that going to occur, and you haven't given them advance notice that that's when you need them to participate, then you're going to come in hot and say, I need this tomorrow. And they're not going to be ready to give it to you tomorrow. And they're not going to want to do that either because they didn't know that this was going to happen. So you can avoid that by just planning things out. I think a lot of times people don't want to accept how much time things are going to take. And so instead of really giving an appropriate duration for each step in the process, they just set a big milestone. They say, we want to be done on the 21st. And then come hell or high water, we're trying to figure out how to do that, but we get stuck all the time over the course of the project. Usually what I see happen is the project does launch at the same time it would have been projected to do so, but it's a much more chaotic process getting there, which is not fun for anybody.